Steph, Jay, Sparkle Tie, Couch Chronicles. Steph, Jay, Sparkle Tie, Couch Chronicles.
Hello.
Welcome.
Season 3 in effect.
Wow.
Season 3, friend.
Trace.
Wow.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
Hi.
You know, my forever friend. We are back. We are back for season 3, and we're excited about this season.
We are.
We have made some changes, that we are going to be We're going to be discussing today. But before we get into things, how we been? What has been your favorite episode from last season? What you been up to?
Recap?
Yeah, what's a recap? And what's one fascinating thing that happened to you since the last time we saw each other?
Oh wow, loaded question.
Loaded questions.
I mean,
we gotta let the people know.
Number one, like how do we feel about the second season? Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, I loved season 2. I think we really broke out and we touched topics and did things that really kind of resonated with the crowd. For example, my favorite episode was the female predator episode that we did. That one did a really in-depth dive and some of like the intricacies that people don't think about when thinking about women and like violent or predatory crimes or behavior. And so I think that conversation really kind of stroked a lot of great conversations outside of what we were talking about around like what to look for.
Yeah, I agree. I really loved the last season as well. I loved having guests. Really excited to get into that even more this coming season. I just liked having some different perspective. I like that we were able to challenge each other and have some different experiences. I would say that my favorite episode was the love letter episode.
That's a good one.
Yeah, with Dana. Yeah, it was really, I think it just came at a time where I really needed to speak to myself in that way. And yeah, I think it prepared me for what's next and what's to come in this season as we are continuing on our growth journey as a podcast and as, people.
Good deal. I can't think of exactly what's my favorite because I think I've been present and enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
So I love the attachment ones. I love the one that we did with Dana. Yeah, I don't really say I have a favorite, but I'm excited about some of the topics that we already have lined up to talk about. So what is one exciting thing that happened to you guys about on the break? Ty, I know you love your resting, so you like, as long as I got to rest and I was off. So yeah, what's one exciting thing that happened for you? Or something that you felt like you needed?
I mean, I felt like I definitely needed the rest.
Yeah.
Like we ended up even getting started later than we anticipated originally.
Newly married woman.
Well, yeah, I feel like that was last season.
You're still settling in.
Yes, but definitely settling into married life and like making space for myself as a person outside of that role that I play as a wife. And that's been interesting, just figuring out what's going on with life, how I fit in with my friends and family now.
Yeah.
And adjusting. I feel like I've been in like one big transition period during our break. So it was helpful to have a pause from the podcast to regroup and be ready to chat with you all now.
Yeah, we need that.
Definitely.
What about you, Lovely?
Well, as a language person myself, I would say that I wouldn't say I had an exciting thing happen, but I would say the last few months have been very excitable in terms of the fact that there's just been a lot of movement, a lot of chaos and change and constantly having to adapt and then readapt and then readjust and then help other people do those things. And so I would say that's why it's more excitable than it is something that would claim to be exciting. I am thankful for the fact that things are starting to slow down and I'm starting to find my footing, which to me is exciting because I like to feel stable. I like to feel settled and sure of like what my next steps are. So that is something that I'm looking forward to, is being able to now take root and then being able to really then expand or like get into the nitty gritty of like work and other things.
Good deal. For me, I'm just excited about this year, period. You know, I talk about it like on my social media platform and on my website around like I feel excited about the year in general. I feel like it's a year, like I said, the year of dominion for us to just be like empowered and just not be afraid. I think I'm in a state in my life where I just feel so much liberation and freedom and to just not limit myself to just one box, but open like several boxes. Because I've always tried to give myself some structure because, you know, my ADHD.
Have some parameters, friend.
Bounds. But at the same time, I realize that I do tend to say, okay, this is the only thing I'm going to do. And I get focused on it. And there's other creative juices in my
vision.
Yeah. And I think I want to like not just limit myself. So I'm just excited, period, about the year in terms of like, you know, dabbing into things that I normally would not dab into.
Sure.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff.
We're trying to see that
Can
creativity.
you share with us about your website? Because I believe you launched a newsletter.
Yes, I did. The Go Corner. Okay, y'all can check Guidance of Hope. Okay, on the website. Yes, the Go Corner, because y'all know I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say sometimes, and sometimes I'm having space to say everything. But also, like with clients and just like with clinician in general, I just wanted to, this is part of the excitement, like be connected with people. And I believe it's one person or two person. I'm like, if one person get helped, healed, feel connected, or something I say really like get them thinking, that's really all that matters to me. So for me, the newsletter is my way of like just putting information out there, celebrating us, celebrating mental health, but also bringing awareness and resources. Because I think, especially when we live in a world where they're taking shit out and they're not giving like books and things that are accessible, I wanted to provide resources that are still accessible that we can still hold on to.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's all the drive.
Nice.
Thanks. Look at you. Thanks for that
Exciting
plug, friend.
things for you. Exactly.
Do you mind reminding us of what the website is, by the way?
www.guidanceofhope.com.
Thank you.
All right. She wouldn't. Okay, that's part of accountability, y'all. That's accountability with your friends. Okay. What we talking about, Ty?
Wow. Yeah. So our topic for today, we're going to talk a little bit about. I'm looking my notes together.
This gonna be a good one.
Right. The soft ghosting epidemic. Why disappearing without a trace has become normalized and how we heal from it. We've all experienced it in some way, shape, or another, whether we're the ghoster or ghosty.
Some of us have done it.
The ghoster or the ghosty. We've been there.
Casper is my second cousin. My bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. Any experience that you've had with being ghosted or ghosting?
I did recently, and by recently I would say in the last maybe 3 years, my last time on the dating circle, felt what it feels like to be ghosted or to feel an abrupt cutting of a intimate connection. Because I feel like that is also like, if we define what ghosting is, it is the premature, unexpected dissolvement, breaking of a relationship that was near and dear to you, that you spend a lot of time. I mean, even friends, because I think a lot of times people think ghosting is limited to just intimate relationships or your friends can also, you know, ghost you. So that's what I would say is I felt it. And it is a very confusing, very warped experience to be somebody who has been ghosted, because there's just nothing but questions and wondering and a playing of what if.
So many questions.
Yeah. You know, I've been fortunate that I haven't been ghosted. In And at the same time, I think I heard the word ghosting from when I was dating. You know, if I showed up late or something, a guy would be like, "Oh, I thought you were ghosting me." I think that was the first time I heard it, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. But then I, of course, later understand what it means. But I think it's also interesting that you also defined it as, sorry, y'all, this is so wrong. But anyway, I think it's also interesting that you define it as like friends ghosting you and things like that. Now, that I feel like I have experienced.
Sure.
But not necessarily on that, like, intimate level,
like a romantic.
Does it feel similar to what Tyler and I said in terms of the fact that like you have a lot of questions and there's a lot of confusion and just sometimes even like an attack on self at times will show up in the questioning of what did I do or what happened?
I think those questions came and I was like, well, fuck these bitches. So I think for me, when the friends, it was more like, oh, okay, well, fuck y'all. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it would have been different if it was like someone I was supposed to meet up for a date or something. But I think my demeanor automatically, if you don't show up, like, you're lost, not mine. But I think with friends, it was more like, okay. I don't necessarily thought, what did I do wrong? But I'm like, come in courtesy and respect, like, fucking call and tell me you're not going to show up or you can't make it.
I think that, yeah.
Not going to show up or there's something that you feel about the relationship that wasn't connecting with you and things like that. But I think early on in my 20s, I would have given a fuck. But I think after that, I don't think I care.
So you've been ghosted by your friends at both of those times. And so can you talk about, like, what was the difference between the sting of it when it was in your 20s versus your 30s, and then your response of that?
I think in my 20s, it was more like I needed to understand, like, what happened, what did I say, what did I do? I cared. I think in my 30s, it became, these people were not meant to be in your life to begin with. You know what I mean?
Or they were there for the season.
They were there for that season.
For.
So then it allowed me to release them.
Yeah.
And it also allowed me not to care about, people can only show up with what you give, like, with what they can. So it allowed me not to have expectation of how I need people to show up, when they should show up. If you don't show up for me, or if I'm not your cup of tea, I'm learning to respect people's limitations,
what their limitations
what they're able to
are,
give, what they're not able to give, and not hold it against me. But in my 30s, I started to learn that. After, I think, the experience in my 20s. I think in my 20s, I had the expectation of, well, if I'm pouring in, if I'm showing up this way,
I expect that back.
I expect the same thing back.
Yeah.
So it would hurt when it wasn't given, or when somebody just like,
they're
not talking to me, or they might have decided to start creating narratives within other friend circles and stuff about me, but don't come directly to me and say it. I think it affected me then. But I think after I realized that I did what I did and it was for a season, whatever it is, if they find solace in setting their boundaries and not communicating with me, that's their boundaries, and I've learned to respect it. And I should just operate as such. And that's where I think the people pleasing in me was like fully active.
That's
in my
when it's
20s,
like,
where I had to learn to kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happened to me too as well. I've had experience with being ghosted in friendships. I've had experiences with like ghosting people, or just, I guess now I probably see it as ghosting. I don't think at the time I saw it as ghosting. I kind of was just like, we've outgrown each other, and like maybe I was doing maybe more of the legwork in the relationship. And so once I stopped being the person to reach out, the communication was limited. But I think I see that more now as ghosting, because at that time I didn't have the language to say, I'm disappointed in X, Y, and Z in this friendship, and this is why I want to, or this is how I see the friendship now. So, yeah, but I would say that I've come to learn that all things change, and relationships included. They come and go, and I think I've learned to develop a more healthy detachment from people, whereas like at a different time in my life, I maybe would have described it as a healthy detachment, but it was a little bit more of just avoidance. Like, I'm going to fake it till I make it. Like, I don't give a damn, so I don't get my feelings hurt. But in reality, I think that kind of took a toll on me and left some residual that I really had to work through when I decided, like, I'm going to get married to somebody. I'm like, oh, you can't be showing up in that way, or like your mind can't go to this worst possible outcome because of Joe Schmo.
So you're saying, are you trying to say that your mind would jump to like, oh, I'm going to get ghosted, or I'm going to
or the relationship's going to end?
When there was like, what was the thing that would prompt that?
Usually when there was conflict, specifically conflict, or like I've done something wrong, or I've done something to like harm or damage in any way. In my situations where I was ghosted, I think I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, did I miss something? Like, how did I not see that coming?
Yes.
So that's a lot of the questioning for me, because, we talk about it on the show all the time. Like my ADHD, sometimes I do also get tunnel vision, just like Jay, and I'm not always like super aware of everything that is happening, especially if I have my own shit that's going on. And so I do always like replay that. And I had to having a more healthy detachment from that was just recognizing that that person was in my life for the season that they were supposed to be. And nice knowing you in a good way.
What always get me though with ghosting, because even when I wasn't interested in a person, dating wise, I'm moving to like intimate relationship or connections. What took away from just sending a message, whether it's I don't have to call you or talk to you, but I literally have, if I've gone out on a date with someone and I feel like, okay, yeah, this ain't it, I literally will send a message and be like, hey, I had a good time. Thanks for da-da-da-da-da, but I don't think I want to, move forward or continue seeing again, or, for us to continue talking and stuff like that. So I guess I never understand what take away from just sending message.
I can tell you right now, for one, from an avoidant person's perspective, avoidant attachment style.
Yeah.
Personally, when I would tell people, hey, I'm not interested, it would usually come with then people feeling the need to now punish me by verbally assaulting me, by saying like, oh, well, you're ugly anyway, you're this anyway, I didn't want you anyway, multiple times over and over. Yeah. And so when you get that young in life, by just like, just very innocently saying like, oh, I'm not interested, or if you would say that you were interested, but that person wasn't, the type of reactions and responses that you would get to someone, teaches you that you can't often tell people how you are feeling if you know it's going to be something of a negative messaging. And I also know that growing up, when I was not on the same page as somebody else, if someone wanted me to be warmer or be more lovey-dovey or any of those things, and I was unable to do that, or I said that like there was a limit for me, people would put a lot of pressure on me to like change that. Why can't you do this? Why don't you do this? Or like try to convince me that the limits that I had weren't supposed to be there. Sure. And so in order to kind of like manage that and not feel succumb or overcome by those experiences, you just learn to not even address it. That's what I would say coming from me, when it would be like, I would tell people I don't like this thing, or I'm not for this thing, or say it from the very beginning. And then there would be constant like pushing against those boundaries. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess you clearly don't respect me, or you don't take me seriously. So then I'm not here anymore.
I definitely see self-preservation there for sure. Like just protecting yourself from harm, or feeling like that person has the power to then harm you because of what you said. And that makes sense. People want to preserve themselves. Yeah.
But for you, because I have sent like text message or call or whatever, and I've gotten some, some people whose egos were bruised and hurt. Yeah. And they say some crazy things like, oh, that's why women like you, gonna be alone, all these things. And then for me, I guess it still never stopped me from sending messages, because I literally understood as like, oh, now I get to see who you really are. Oh, now this further proves my point why, I dodge a bullet. So even though I would get those, I had a different, the verbal aggression or the verbal abuse part about it. I still went on and look at it, chuck it to okay, yeah, thanks for showing me who you are and I made the right decision. But I also still continue to be like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not that. So I think it's interesting how we both kind of like handle it differently.
I can probably say one thing. When you were younger, when you said no about something, did people respect what you said?
It's me.
Huh?
It's me. Yeah. I never was, mine was.
They
not.
did?
Mm-hmm.
That's why. That's why you felt that level of this is because when you say something from when you were younger, your mom, your dad, your siblings, everybody would respect it.
Yeah.
When you don't have that from when you're young, when people tell you, no, you should do this. No, that's not your limit. No, you can push harder. You end up with that.
I think it also kind of shapes that can really shape your identity and also your ability to access language around what it is that you even want. If you constantly have people telling you that what I like feel, that what feels natural to me is not the right thing, of course you're gonna, and especially when you're young, you confide to that and then you become older and it's like over practiced.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it in response, not even always having access to think about what's going on, really.
You said something interesting, though, when you were talking around sometimes you don't notice that the relationship or something is going awry because you so tunnel vision and you get so focused on what you're doing, so you don't notice it's going left. So then do you give yourself a different perspective or understanding as to why the person ghosted or didn't want to continue it further? Or
I think that it has often boiled down to people struggling to be honest with me in relationships. Like, I do not believe that a lot of people that I've had relationships with me, like, openly or honestly share disagreements or dislike or like challenge me. So that does create an environment where people are more likely to just ghost if they don't feel like they have the space to say this thing happened.
But I also think some people, that's why they do it. Sometimes it's the whole idea. Sometimes people will stay in situations because they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. Or some people would leave without like a trace because it's better than to
confront somebody. I would say that for sure. For me, I definitely have ghosted because I didn't know how to end the relationship. And because like, it'd be like, I would know or feel before that I was no longer invested or like in that like committed place, but didn't know how to end it because of all the other things I had said before. And then it's like either trying to wait until the other person like figures out or picks up on like, oh, like we're done. Like, but they're not noticing those things. That's the one that happened to me. I ended up waiting like 4 weeks. Like, so that's so you're not
just not saying.
Okay, yes, and then feeling like this like pressure to like hurry up and like do it.
Yeah.
It's interesting the part that you had said. I saw it a little bit differently because I feel like I don't notice that the relationship is going awry because to me, I have very simple but difficult markers that I use to be like, you're my person.
Sure.
It's like if I feel safe, I have a good time, we're comfortable, like there's ease with it. I like you. Like I like you. I'm interested in you. We are,
She's single, by the way.
Okay.
She is.
Please, God.
And she's looking. This is her year of looking.
All right. Anyway, this is not Love Island.
Okay, sorry. So she's a good candidate for Love Island.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so like it's very simple of things of like if we get along, if we have great sex, if we can, like I'm good with those things, and so I will just keep engaging, but not realizing the other person might have hangups or things that they're having, challenges with that they will not say to me, because they're like, I seem so happy, so I guess it should be happy, and they shouldn't bring it up. And I'm like, well, I'm happy because my things are very simple to me.
My needs are
being met. So it's like, please tell me what it is that would make you be more comfortable, so I would do that. So there was always this weird thing of like, well, you're good, so then like I'm not going to say anything, or I would be just operating from the guise of like things are going well from my kind of measuring stick, then all of a sudden they'll come in and they're like, oh, I'm feeling this, and this, and I've been feeling this way. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? How did this happen?
You ain't told me nothing.
Right. We can call it ADHD. We can call it neurodivergence. We can call it autism. We can call it whatever it is. But a lot of the times, if I'm locked into whatever the temperature of the space is until you tell me that it is different, or if I feel something, but it takes a lot for me to feel unearthed from something that I felt settled in.
That's so interesting that you say that too, right? Like the feeling. I think that in a lot of, when I can recall the moments where that was my last conversation with the person, I can now see that like that was definitely going to be my last conversation with them. But in the moment, it felt like this is the routine, like this is normal. So like there will be more after this.
Well, you know, here's the thing where I've also been sensitive to people getting ghosted is that the person that is being ghosted, it really affects them on a deeper level where it messed up someone's self-esteem.
Sure.
It may question themselves in terms of what did I do wrong? It leaves them feeling a form of abandonment around. If
it
the
is
person
abandonment.
Already,
No, it's not a form. It is abandonment.
So it's like especially if the person have a history of people leaving them, and now here's somebody leaving me, and the whole idea like I'm not good enough. So I always, have this sensitive spot, and also in understanding that there is emotional harm when someone is being ghosted.
Yeah.
And we do have to think about that.
I do. And I believe as like someone who has been on both sides, I think even as the ghoster, there is some of it comes from like this idea that I want to protect myself from harming people. Like I don't want to feel like a bad person. But either way, you're coming in contact with that feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's damaging to ghost people too.
Let's shift the conversation about, we don't need to see the text messages. Have any of you went and kind of snoop?
Oh, you're talking about going from ghosting to being somebody who snoops? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I am not an investigator. I'm not an investigator. I'm very much somebody that already picks up on certain things. I did it one time.
That's all you needed.
Oh my God, bro. It burnt me to a crisp. Like I'm talking about I was hurt, about to take my heart out from the thing. Like I saw it one time. I'm never again. I will never put myself through reading that stuff again because that had me sick.
So honestly, like a person, I'm not a go through her phoner either.
Okay.
But I think that,
have you done it though?
I've always erred on the side of once I'm having the urge to do so, then I already know something is up that's not for me. So I don't really need to look for evidence to make myself upset. Right?
And I've also been on the side where people be wanting to look at my phone.
That's the one that's
the people.
That's where
people always want to look at my phone.
So I had a situation where this person looked at my phone, and I think now my response to them looking at my phone, I think now I see it more as like, oh, you were done with that relationship because I did not handle that with the care at all. Like it was basically like the person approached me about like, I went through your phone, I saw this, and this, and like, I'm confused. Like you kind of painted the picture like it was this, but it was really this. And I'm just like, well, you knew what it was. So what was you looking for?
Pretty much be confused.
Stay confused. Right?
I mean, obviously, I find that like that response was like very careless for like where we were in our relationship, but. I think at the time I just was just like, fuck this anyway. What was you looking through my phone for? You wanted to cry? Now you want to crucify me for some shit that like you already knew I had going on.
Like my grandmother said, if you go looking for something,
you gonna find it.
You gonna find that shit. So for me, that always stays with me. But similar thing happened with Tyler where, my ex in my 20s, first I was like, he went and looked at my phone. I wasn't the best.
Devastated.
He was.
Sliding down the wall crying.
He was devastated. And I think for me, how did I handle that?
I can imagine.
I deny everything until proven. I did not
Correct.
say until guilty.
Correct.
I think it went to that defense, and we just had a conversation around like, it's not best to go look through each other's stuff. And I also understand now trust has been broken because now you see something that obviously hurt you. And the question is like, can we gain trust? Of course, we were able to through a lot of work and transparency.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just never, if I feel like I need to, through your point, look through somebody's phone or... I just believe what's in the dark will come to light. So I believe something's always going to come knock on my door.
My mind, my body, and my spirit
something's always going to say it.
Because I can always pick up on a pattern. Because you can tell when someone goes from being like laser beam focused on you until there's a distraction. There's a bit of a fly in the cake, if you will. You can tell. Like, and so I'm just one person that had to learn a lot later than earlier to trust my gut because people would tell me and try to skew, and then that's where the questioning of like, well, maybe I didn't see that, or maybe it wasn't this, and then it would come out later that it was exactly what it was.
I think your mind is tricky too, right? Like sometimes you can really convince yourself of anything
because you don't want to feel
based on what your needs are. Like in this particular relationship, I know that I saw the things that I wanted to see because I was in my own vulnerable space, and like they allowed me to like avoid. Yeah, they were a good time.
Yeah. No. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I also think that to the point that Stephanie that you were making around knowing, I remember a relationship I had where a guy cheated on me. I have a 0 tolerance level for cheating.
Yeah. 0.
So, and we were intimate. And I was like, hold on. In the middle of us being intimate, I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Get off of me. What's happening? Right. And he couldn't understand. So to the point where I was like, yeah, no. I said, you did something. I said, no. I said, you did something because something happened. And I remember he denied it. It wasn't until 2 days later, because of course we stopped right there. He was like, how did you know that? Like, why? I'm like, I pay attention to my partner. If I'm intimate with you, if you're talking to me, you
start doing things we never done before, start acting like,
hold up, pause, stop the clock. And that, and for me, of course, that ended it right there. But I always say to you say like your intuition, your body is going to tell you when something is off. If you are present in the relationship.
Yes.
You got to be present in the relationship.
Yes.
If you're not present in it, something can go over your head and can fly through.
And I will say sometimes I could be blind because I was looking through my lens. I was connected to that person. I was all in with you. So I also will make the mistake of assuming that my partner is reflecting my own experience or even my friends. Yeah. Because interestingly enough, friends and partners, I will say for me, friends ghosting, friends relationship ending, I think we talked about this maybe season 1 or something, was much more of a hurtful thing for me because when my friend that I had of over 10 years, randomly, I still to this day, I have no idea what ended the relationship from her perspective, because when I look at the things in which that I might have endured or the ways in which that I poured into the relationship and the ways in which I was present, it did not make sense to me how you would then have ghosted me. And that's a lot of the times how I look at it, is because I don't see the ways in which I show up as to hitting any level of like grievance or any level of like
the relationship needs to end,
that it would be ending. So I'm always like sometimes flabbergasted by these things because maybe I'm a bit more forgiving around certain things and my tolerance is a lot higher for certain stuff. And I find my partners don't have the same
not the same
level of tolerance. Yeah. And that can be hard, right? Like when you're, mind you, our therapist baddies, our therapies girlies and boys and peeps. You think about it, like when we date, we often can not forgive, but like understand and empathize a lot more than folks who are not in our field. And so because they either know and expect us to be more empathetic and thus then not do wrong. It's almost like because you're empathetic and because you're in a profession, you're supposed to make no mistakes, or that their perception of hurt should be quantified as like, oh, I really meant to hurt you because you thought this was something that was hurtful. Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
So I find myself caught up in a lot of those things. 'Cause I'm like, I can understand that this impacted, but you're trying to make it seem like my intention was to hurt you. And that's something that I don't
like
do
that.
well with.
I don't like that either, because I don't think that I have come to learn more that in my past relationships that were not successful, my intention was to preserve myself. I see that now. I think at the time when I was in it, I maybe did not see it in that way. But now more so like I was just trying to protect what I had going on.
This is a good conversation. We're gonna end it with one question real quick. When or how have you felt like you maturely ended a relationship? Whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a friendship where you felt like, you know what, I handled this in a mature way.
I don't know that I have like maturely ended a relationship. I think that I have more maturely curated my relationships so that I don't feel like I have relationships in my life now where I can't say like, this hurt me. Let's talk about it. Let's repair it. But I don't know that I've had the opportunity to, I haven't had an opportunity yet where I felt like, oh, I need to have a conversation about ending the relationship. So I can imagine what that can probably look like for me now with just being more open or just having more language to say, with ease, like I really love and care for you in these particular ways, and I just don't think that our lives aligned anymore.
How about a romantic relationship? Have you maturely ended one?
Yeah, I haven't had the chance.
Makes sense.
And the relationship that I'm in currently is never ending.
Amen.
Till death.
Yes.
Do us part.
Yes.
Right, honey? Okay. Sorry.
Anyway, let's stay focused here, guys.
So
I'm thinking about what you were just saying. I don't think that I have ended a... that's not true. Actually, now I think about it. I think I did end a relationship a few years back where it was just like a mutual thing of like, I don't think that, we, vibe well together. I'm not, I think I even said it actually, like, I'm not as invested or I'm not as serious about this as you are right now. I'm fresh, off of a breakup. I'm really just trying to just like take it easy and things like that. And I think you're a lot more wanting this to be more than what it is. And so I was able to end that there. But the most recent one that I had, I guess it's maybe several months, 6 months or so now ago that it ended. I guess I look at it, it was a bit of ghosting, but I have a hard time about that because what if that person they themselves just went out of, like, stopped communicating and then came back and then I chose not to communicate. Is that ghosting?
No.
Right. Sure. I don't think that that's ghosting.
I don't think that's ghosting.
No.
So that's what I would say about that is I have been able to maturely end a relationship without ghosting.
Yeah.
I mean, my relationships, they end maturely ending. I let you know we're done.
It's true. You do a very good job of being able to communicate very clearly.
I was like, we're not in alignment with our values. I had a quota for myself and I have a certain standards, and if you're not ready, I respect it, and I moved on.
So,
and then I got married.
Maturely, honestly, I think the maturity is coming from like just really knowing what you want and being able to communicate that. Like when you have boundaryless relationships, you're bound to have shit like ghosting and like poor communication, hurt feelings, intentionally or unintentionally. It's bound to happen when you don't have the standard in mind.
For shit that you should be. Don't go looking for shit you want to be looking for either.
Right.
You want to do all that.
Right. It's sending a bigger message that there's trust. There's a trust challenge here.
We have a new segment we introduced. We do.
Yes. Okay. What is our new segment called?
All right. It's called Couch Talk, the Quickies.
Ooh.
Couch Talk and Quickies. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
And today's topic is under brands of the
America's Next Top Model
Netflix documentary.
Reality check documentary.
You want to be on top?
Yes. So obviously,
do you want to be America's Next Top Model?
Literally. So obviously, we all
Stephanie,
watched.
you are in line.
Yes, you are still in line. You're still in running to be America's Next Top Model. Yes. So we all obviously watched America's Next Top Model growing up.
Yes.
Right. Like I'm not gonna lie, glued to my TV every single time.
Yes.
Couldn't wait to see the makeovers and all of those other things.
Yes.
However, several years later, 20 plus years
25
later.
years.
Yes. Because I think they did back in COVID time, 2020 is when a lot of people were kind of going back and watching certain shows. And there was a lot of uproar about a lot of the treatment of the models, a lot of the main host, Tyra Banks. We know her.
Little Tyra.
Tyra is as a character. She's definitely a personality, but she also represents that time. I would say
She definitely does.
So,
but it almost seems like she's frozen in it.
a little bit. So 2026, they did a documentary a few weeks ago, I believe, came out on Netflix about going through the whole seasons. They have Miss J, they have Jay Manuel, Nigel, Tyra, I believe Ken is the executive producer, and a few other folks. And the models from all the different seasons. Mind you, 24 cycles of America's Next Top Model. Wild.
I mean, I stopped watching it, obviously, after my frontal lobe developed.
Yes.
Right. And it was, I think this was... Apparently, Tyra never addressed some of the controversial issues that was coming out during the pandemic, and it seems like this was the purpose of the documentary.
She still didn't address anything.
It was meant to, the purpose of the documentary was be able to have some conversations about some of these very toxic workplace things, the ways in which she perpetuated kind of like skinny culture and ED culture and all of those things. Yeah. So let's get into it because there's a lot to say.
I think that it can be easy to sensationalize some of the things that were in the documentary. Like it talked about some pretty heavy stuff, sexual assault, eating disorders, like people's lives literally being in danger, trying to do the things for TV, and then it ultimately not even really being worth it.
Yeah.
But I did find that the documentary lacked. It just lacked dialectics. It lacked multiple sides.
That's it.
And so that was difficult for me because I'm like, well, there are people who were successful. Ironically, a lot of the women that were successful were Black women, and they were not in the documentary
because they all have active contracts,
careers, and active
things
contracts.
like that.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, on one hand, I definitely do see that there was lots of harm that was done. I do think that a lot of it had to do with the times. And the word that comes to mind for Tyra is disappointment. Just kind of disappointed in how she...
That was her word for everybody.
Misused her platform. Yeah. I do think that initially... America's Next Top Model really could have really been a space to empower, and it seemed more like humiliation, ritual, buck breaking.
I think that's where it ended up going. But I think the original, just like most dreams, when we start off of it, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. She wanted to get back at the industry for having the same standard, white, blonde, stick, skinny. That was who the model was. So she literally started America's Next Top Model to prove that Black, brown, curvier, less, they were lucrative. They were able to be seen as beautiful as well too. However, let's also look at what was really done. You have an executive producer who's an Asian man. You have the person that runs the network. The last network that finally took them was a white blonde woman. Then the person that took over the thing from the white woman was a white man who then turned it into a minstrel show. I don't know if you guys noticed that as soon as that guy took over, they started having her do things that were very much more along let me make a fool out of you, like a kind of jester mockery type of things. And then they, nixed her out completely. But if you look at it, they've always saw Tyra Banks as a joke.
And I do agree that, like, I see Tyra as both the victim and the perpetrator, right? Like, it is very clear that she was victimized. She was in the industry since she was young and was like
16
one
or
of
something?
the only black models as a teenager in an industry that I'm sure was wicked. And so it makes sense that she would show up in some of those ways. At the same time, disappointment comes from me because I think it almost gives this air of like, I had to go through this shit, and so like you have to go through it too.
You know, as you guys are talking, and as I just recently watched it, the intention. Let's hear about the intention reason
versus impact,
because it was more of I wouldn't say revenge, but the proof of point, it was a revenge.
You know, they kept saying, "Oh, it's a vanity project." Every single person that was like, "Oh, it's a vanity project," is a vanity project. It was a low key a vanity project of I can make it
right. And usually when you start, what do they say about revenge? You can get it, and it may not fulfill you or satisfy you.
In order to get revenge, you have to become the people that you're getting the revenge against.
Exactly.
Hello, The Glory, my favorite movie.
It's funny that you said when you saw Tyra, you saw disappointment. And I believe I said it when we were talking amongst ourselves in a text message. I said, I'm still trying to figure my feelings about Tyra. And Stephanie, you and I were talking. And I said, Ms. Banks is a narcissist.
Thank you. And that's the part that I want to get to.
Ms. Banks is a narcissist.
And mind the kind of black woman that I want in my corner.
But also the industry, and that's what we need to talk about.
That.
Industry makes narcissists. Like people, when a narcissistic person, the reason why they end up kind of like becoming a self-watering plant is because there is limited intrinsic like reward or external reward. A lot of people will knock you down, say you're nothing, say you're this. So she had a whole industry tell her that she was ugly, that she was unattractive, that she was this. Then you have what's called other people after she has made it, calling her stupid, calling her vain and vapid and these things of the nature. There's other in the modeling community in terms of black people. She's also a product of a black girl who did not find community within other black women.
Correct.
So you've had this thing of I want to fit in and I want to be able to help people while at the same time not exactly really understanding the nuance that comes with being a black girl of a different color, a different background than her.
Yeah.
Because think of the people, like think about Ebony, Kenya, Yaya, all of these women that didn't do as well as the Willows and the Evas. Well, they looked just like her.
As well with modeling. Yeah. But Yaya has had a very successful acting career.
Yes.
And to me, I look at it like the people that had successful careers after America's Next Top Model used the platform for what it was.
Yeah.
They looked at it as a like launching pad for whatever I was gonna go for. Like
and with Yaya's case,
not more of like the end all.
Yeah, it didn't leave her without scars though.
No,
and she's always been
not.
honest about that, right? So with Eva, same thing. It still left them with some sort of scar, and that's the part that Tyra has a hard time. The accountability,
yes,
because she has no empathy.
It's the both in factor. We can give you the credit for providing this platform, and at the same time, your platform caused harm, girl.
Her energy was given. You bitches are lucky I put you on.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's even with the ending around, she was naming this,
and then the season 5, I was like, oh, this is promo, girl.
So you have not seen what's coming yet. And I'm like,
girl, I won't see it.
But that's the thing. I'm with you guys in all of those things in terms of saying that's why she would be like that. That like she would be a narcissist at that time because like the 90s, like let's really think back. The 90s were cut throat for anyone that was not the standard.
Stuff was appropriate because of the time. I'm like, even when they talked about like the whole, I think even in the documentary when they talked about the episode where the model like blacked out and was like filmed having sex or whatever,
like that.
The sexual assault.
I felt sick to my stomach.
Yes.
I have a question.
I did not expect for Tyra to get on there and say,
Right.
I'm sorry that this happened to you.
Right.
Because that 1000% opens them up for a lawsuit. Like, why would she would not admit that this is something that happened because of production.
Yes.
But the
I
language
cannot
around
help
it,
but also
like-
look at the fact, let's also be real. Tyra Banks herself has probably been
Of
sexually
course.
assaulted.
Exactly.
And so in her mind, the ways in
It's
which
part of the game.
Because even what she said to Kenya
Afterward, yes.
that one time of like, oh, there's ways in which that you can tell him to stop
Yes.
without, because the reality is production they don't care about models.
reality
Like
is-
models are not humans who have like
Right.
agency to do anything. And that's the thing that people like of today, because we have more like rights and more of like validation and your worth matters and all that stuff. They don't care about that before.
Yeah.
It's like you're literally a hanger. It's
Yeah.
like a hanger telling a human being to stop or to, they're like, you don't have that, which is sad to say. But my question is it sexual assault if both parties are under the influence? I'm just a question because I say yes, but I just want to see what people think.
Well, let's leave it to the audience to say that.
Yeah, because I mean, I think
a good
that
question.
assault definitely comes into play when like people cannot.
If somebody
consent.
black out
If
and you didn't
can't
consent and you don't remember
That's what I
anything,
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point,
Yes,
something
because
needs to stop.
explicit consent has to be given and it cannot be given if somebody's intoxicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in closing, I think I would say that I appreciated how the people who did some of the models who did show up, they did understand, yes, this provided me a platform, and at the same time acknowledge it was 25 years ago. It was a different time. It
Yeah.
looked like they've done their healing. They've done their work, and I find solace
All the
in
black
that.
women look tea.
Yes, they
still.
Amazing. And are
Yeah.
doing such great stuff for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a great episode for our kickoff.
Yeah,
in
more to
season
come.
3.
We've got guests.
And-
we've got more topics.
And
we
where
want
can
to
they find
hear.
us?
We want to hear from you all. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. And you can also write to us at couchchroniclestad@gmail.com.
And subscribe.
Yes. If you want to send in your letters, subscribe.
Follow.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
All right, couchies.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all. It's the couchies for me.
Steph, Jerry, Sparkle Tie, Couch Chronicles. Steph, Jerry, Sparkle Tie, Couch Chronicles.